Welcome to Key Biscayne Stories, where neighbors meet neighbors. Today we're going to get to know Txema. He is the Padel Program Director at the Ritz Carlton here in the Key. We're going to get to know a little bit of his background, the programming, the future of paddle, and a couple of other things. Txema, welcome on the show. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you very much, Alejandro. It's my pleasure to be here. Very excited.
So let's dive right in. Let's get to know a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Spain, actually from a very small territory at the south. It's called the Canary Islands, where I was born and raised all my life until I started playing tournaments. And I had to travel a lot to mainland Spain and then go back and forth. Then thanks to my tennis career in the past, I was able to obtain a tennis scholarship to do my business degree in Rochester, upstate New York, for 4 years. And then right away, I went straight to South Florida to Boca Raton to get my master's degree at Lynn University, where I graduated with an MBA with a minor in entrepreneurial management and also a small focus on sports. So yeah, all my life has been very related to sports somehow, especially with racket sports. But let me tell you, paddle was created, not many people know, in Mexico. Mexico was the country that actually created the sport, and definitely was Argentina and Spain the ones that promoted the most.
When we were brainstorming a little bit and getting to know each other before the show, you mentioned that you always had a racket in your hand, right? So how did that start? How did that first racket ended up in your hands?
Oh, that wasn't my decision. Let me tell you, that was actually my parents' decision. I started playing tennis when I was 4 years old, and since then I actually have never stopped. It was just 1 year that I was actually getting ready for my SAT and TOEFL exams. That they were like two main requirement exams to be able to qualify to come to a university in the US. But besides that, I have always played. From 10 till 17, I was playing high performance and being ranked in Spain. And then when I came to the US, I was actually playing my best level. I was able to make it to nationals and actually make good results here in the country. So yeah, I guess it became my passion naturally. At some point when I was 12, I was actually playing soccer and tennis. And my dad told me, okay, now it's time to take a decision. You're older enough to... He definitely influenced a little bit on my decision.
Yeah.
Because I was actually a better tennis player than a soccer player. But yeah, that life took me this way to kind of develop as even personal, as a person to keep playing on a very individual sport and not a collective sport. That for sure that has given me like many strengths in life. But I definitely are a team guy. I love practicing sports with people. I love business with people. I love people in general. But having developed myself as a professional in the tennis and the racket sport industry, playing by myself has definitely helped me a lot. But right now with paddle, it's amazing because I am always playing with somebody. So
At 12 years old, your dad made you choose between soccer and tennis at the time. Correct, right? And obviously we're here because we're talking about paddle and tennis. So how did that decision come about?
well, high school started to get a little more demanded than when I was actually younger. And my dad always wanted me or encouraged me to keep an eye at studies because there's a thing that it was actually very important for me at the time and actually for everybody. So we never gave up studies, and we actually were able as a family to combine both things at a professional and discipline conduct. So yeah, after 12, I picked tennis full time, and I started actually I got invited to a high performance tennis academy with another group of 3 guys, and we were actually practicing every day from Monday to Sunday, and we had the privilege of got some sponsors that were able to support us to make trips internationally. And then when I was 16, 17 was when I start to prepare for all my SAT exams in order to come here to the US. And it was at the age of 18 that I made the first touchdown here in America, in the US, coming to a university which is called Roberts Wesleyan University in Rochester, upstate New York, where I was actually playing in a very international tennis team where with guys from all over the world, and that was amazing. Also, like I felt that was a very rich experience for me to kind of open my mind. Also, being able to combine studies, my business passion, also with my tennis passion, have them both together, and I mean able to learn at the same time I was playing. It was definitely a sacrifice because, of course, I didn't live the life of any other former student in university with no type of limitations, but it was amazing at the same time. I have great memories playing with my teammates, traveling all over in the Northeast coast, and that was cool, especially because after my sophomore years, I became tennis captain on my tennis team, and that was actually pretty amazing to lead a team of 12, 13 guys that we were at that time, and kind of leading the example of taking the van 5 a.m. in the morning, going to indoor facilities. It was snowing so much, but yeah, I think that all these memories, all this experience, made me grow as a person, also professionally, and kind of getting the respect from the professors, also from the coach, from everything, from everybody involved. That was definitely a good experience to me. I also kind of belong to the SAAC, which is like an institution that unifies leaders from sports of every university to kind of make the NCAA like a better place to be for athletes. So I kind of involved in everything that had to relate to sports. So all my life has been all over and very related to business and sports or business, first and second, second and first. And then unfortunately, once I graduated in 2018 with my business degree, I went straight away to Boca Raton to get my master's. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the 5th year of NCAA eligibility because at that time there were just 4 years that I already accomplished on my bachelor's degree. So I just did my master's without playing tennis, but I was actually assisting the tennis program over here, and then at the same time I was giving tennis private lessons and paddle private lessons. But yeah, master's just took me 1 year, and that's when I fell in love with Florida, and I was like, wow, I need to come back somehow. Once I graduated, for family reasons, I had to come back to Spain, and I remained in Spain for 4 years, where I entrepreneur, and I created my own projects. Some of them were on the sport industry, some others were not. And then after 4 years, I kind of regretted to come back to Spain and kind of missed so much the US, and I was able actually to find an opportunity to come back as a paddle professional, director or coordinator at the Ritz Carlton. And when that opportunity came up to the table, I was so excited and I never doubted twice. So since the past December, I'm here, being a happy person, growing again, feeling like I at home with this culture, with the people, with the mindset of the American people, and I couldn't feel more blessed of arriving in such a beautiful community of Key Biscayne, which I didn't know because at that time I was doing my master's in Boca Raton, which was an amazing place also. But this sense of community and the quality of people that live here in the island I have never experienced, never seen in South Florida so far. For sure, there are other beautiful places, but the way I have felt so welcome by the people here, it's just unpayable and priceless for me, and that is making my stay like a better place to be, especially being away from home, being away from my girlfriend, being away from my friends. So right now, actually, the demand is crazy, and I'm like full time here, and they have much more demand than when I can actually satisfy. I'm doing the best as I can and giving my life for this project and trying to have everybody content and happy, and also building relationship with every single client on the court and off the court, which is actually most valuable because they value me as a person. They have integrated me in many of their families, and for me, since I came here by myself and I'm here by myself, and they have become my family as well. So whenever I have just a little bit of free time during weekends, which is not that much, I'm always actually spending time with them. So they have become friends outside the court and clients inside the court.
You were telling me you work from Monday to Friday, so you're full, and it's a good problem to have that you have more demand than what you can give. But I understand. And even today, we were talking about scheduling this show. You just came off classes,
Correct.
so and I'd record on Sundays, so
Yeah, especially on Sundays, is the perfect time to organize like more social events, tournaments for the people that attend to the clinics, or for those that they don't, but they just live here and they want to join the tournaments, and then many corporate events also. So yeah, weekends are actually more events oriented, and then weekdays from Monday to Friday is more like clinics, mixers, and then every like from Monday to Thursday from 4 to 6, I'm running like a junior program, which is actually also very demanded from kids from 6 years to 19 years, and all type of levels. We have a high performance kids, we have beginners kids, and we are trying to do or to have a space for everybody, f- not just for juniors but also for adults. The way I'm managing it is that every day I'm offering a clinic for a certain level in particular. Okay, so let's say my Mondays are is for beginners, people that have never grabbed a racket, but then Tuesdays is for advanced beginners, and then it goes to low intermediate, high intermediate, low advanced, blah blah blah. And then at the same time, we I'm doing like not just clinics, which is like more educating or coaching the player. I'm giving them also the opportunity to play. We call here mixers, which is like a small tournaments where people get to play a real match against somebody else, and that's actually a perfect time for them to socialize because I put all the names on an app, and the app creates me all the matches, so people get to play against everybody, and that's actually very fun because they get to know each other on the court. And it's also good for them because they get to play against people that have different styles, different speed, different effects. And that's also cool because this perfect combination of going for the clinics and learn how to play at the same time of going to matches and learning how to play matches, right? The rules, how to serve, how to come up to the net, how to play with the walls, all that's actually make a perfect combination.
can you tell me a little bit about the community building aspect of what you do? When we were getting to know each other a little bit, you mentioned that if you've noticed that a lot of the work that you do is not only providing skills and training, but there's also an aspect of community and friendships that have been developed. Can you expand on that for us?
When I first came here, especially in the beginning, in trying to understand the business here and what the Ritz Carlton was about and the type of clientele that I had, and once I was able to kind of set up all the clinics and organize everything, was when I was actually thinking about going to the next level and think outside of the box and try to come up with ideas that will make people not only better players but happier persons by doing events or on tournaments or social events, like, but all completely friends, like friends type of tournaments, and not extremely competitive, because I want them to come here to be happy and not. I mean, of course, for advanced type of players, there will always be competition, and they're actually seeking more for competition, even though afterwards they gather together. I usually organize. I order food from some special place here. Of course I and there's some friends here in the island that they have actually opened a food boutique for Spanish products. They're on the second mall.
Casa Silva.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Good friends of mine.
I was there for the opening.
Yeah, I'm counting with them for every time I do a tournament. I order a few paellas, which is an amazing dish that they actually do. I would say it's the best, if not one of the best. And it's very nice to share, because they bring the whole thing for not everybody's a very common dish to eat. Um, and I bring my Spanish identity up to the table, so everything works. And they train me very well, and that's actually my main partnership that I have. So yeah, and this very silly thing truly makes community, because first with the tournament itself, which I organize it very professional, and then afterwards, once the tournament is done, is when the food comes. We bring also gazpacho, we bring like beers, and they spend a good time there together, because the music I use for the tournament, I put them on the corner for them, and we spend there hours and hours talking about the tournament, talking about life, and I do it with people from all levels, not just for advanced players. So that's where I started to create more community, because during weekdays people are actually more running side to side, and they are actually taking the hour of sport just to take care of themselves, and not that much to spend too much time there. But yeah, definitely tournaments are unifying a lot. And then I don't know if I mentioned to you before, but there are clients that they have created their own group of friends out of paddle, which is crazy. Like, the friends that they have in the islands are the friends that they have met at the paddle courts. And whenever they have free time, they all gather together. It's their group of friends. Paddle is a big thing here, let me tell you. But yeah, it's beautiful. And one of the things that I value a lot about this country, and enrich it so much to me and for others, is that, especially in this island, which is where I barely live on my day-by-day basis, is that you get to see people from everywhere in the world, from every city in the US, in the world, and everybody has something to tell you, and I keep learning from them. And they are my clients in the court, but I'm their clients outside of the court, because many of them are successful people in business, successful people in their families, amazing person, and they're actually teaching me a lot on many other aspects. And I'm also taking advantage of their knowledge, even during the class, during the lesson, when we are picking balls, or outside when we go for lunch, when we go for dinner, because that knowledge that they have, or the experience that they have, I use it for my personal development, or for professional skills, and I find it very valuable. Um, so yes, that's actually that is being great, uh, especially when we are on the court, and then they invite me for a lunch at a house of somebody else, and then you get to see the same faces that you see on a daily basis. So no, it's beautiful. I'm definitely loving this experience so much, and hopefully it's last for so many years, and I never leave the key. I'm actually I'm right now I'm living in Brico, and I'm definitely consider, once my lease is done, to move here to the Key, because it's actually where my life is these days.
How can we find out about these services? If I want to join, if I want to, or anybody, because you guys do also, so you guys do kids and adults.
Yeah.
So if I want to sign up my kid, or I want to play a game of paddle, how do I sign up? How do I find out?
Well, you actually have two options. Okay, the Ritz Carlton uses one platform called Play by Point, which is like a booking software where you actually it's like no, it's not like a Facebook. It's like a it's like a software. It's mainly folks for in sports, and where you create your own profile and you can get to see all the programs. Right, you sign up, you put your name and last name, you create a username and password, and then you go and search for clinics regarding or depending on your level. But here's the question that you might be thinking of: okay, so but what's my level, right? It's what happens to me on a daily basis.
I don't play, so I don't have a level. But
No,
that's a great question.
no, but there are people that are more skilled than others. There are people that have practiced tennis before. Tennis helps you so much in order to kind of have the basics on how to move on the court, coordination wise, reading the ball. There are many aspects where tennis can help you or any other racket sports. So, but what we usually do is that we give you or we suggest you to do like rating lesson. Now, it might take half an hour, or you might take the opportunity or take a full lesson of 1 hour. And in there, it's where I give you a rating. With that rating, your profile is kind of completely set up. Because with that rating, you're gonna be able to sign up for clinics or for the mixers for these tournaments I was speaking before. But you definitely need to have a rating. I am authorized to give you or to give anybody a rating, either to increase or decrease, depending on the level and depending on you're playing, right? But yeah, once you have the rating, you can definitely sign up straight away. For those that are not very techy or familiar with apps and mobiles, phones, and all that, I can definitely recommend you to call the front desk, which
Of the Ritz.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, you can Google like tennis Ritz Carlton, and they will see a phone number right away. Just give them a call. Okay, I'm interested in joining to the tennis clinics or the padel clinics. What do I need to do? Most likely, they will tell them to come to the front desk. They will help you out or guide you to create a profile. And then once you have the profile created, and that's easy. The most common thing that's happening is that my phone is all over the island. So people text me every day. That's regarding the clinics and the mixers. Then for private lessons, that's actually more directly to me, right? Because I am the one that takes care of my own availability, and I send my all my ability to those have asked me for lessons every Sunday, and then you will see all the openings that I have, and then when I say to you, okay, Chema, please get me the Monday from 3 to 4, 1 hour. But the clinic is like a much organized things because we take 3 courts with on each court there's a different coach. So the way I structure it is that in every court we practice a different type of shot or a different type of strategy depending on the level. So it's actually very helpful because in 1 hour and a half you get to practice a lot different shots. So that's actually quite complete. And then that's regarding the mixers and the clinic and the privates I already talked. But regarding the junior program, it's kind of the similar thing. For the juniors, they actually the front desk is the one that mainly takes care of the availability because it gets full very quick, and there's so volatile. Like on one season, I get to see like 90% of new faces, and I don't know the kids, so I mainly focus on the running of the junior kids, but not that much on the registration. Let's say that way, right? So yeah, that happens as well. Okay, a client of mine. Okay, I want to sign up my kid for the junior program, blah blah. Blah. But I forward directly the message through a front desk, and they're actually the ones that they sign him in and tell them which day or what time, and then I see the kids on the court, and I already know what to do.
Tell me a little bit about the business side or aspect of paddle.
Well, that's actually a very good question. Paddle is a sport that right now, talking about Spain, which is what I better know, is the number one most practiced sport, which is a crazy stat I give you. You know that in Spain, soccer has been always the main player, and tennis has been always big. But right now, padel is the number one. And in other countries, not just in Spain, Argentina, I think it's also number one. Sweden got huge. Indonesia, Asia. Right now, padel is going through a global expansion worldwide, actually quite big, and it's happening right now. Padel in Spain in the 2012 or even a little earlier, it started to explode, and they started to construct so many padel facilities, and the boom was insane. It was crazy. But then crisis came, and you started to see that paddle facilities weren't as full as they were before. So I mean, people saw that numbers weren't that good anymore. But out of the sudden, paddle kind of reactivated like crazy in Spain as well. And right now, they're starting to construct more paddle facilities, and those that were able to suffer that bad season, right now they are doing great. I'm putting this example because I think that right now in the US, padel is starting to grow as crazy. And I think that the way they're consolidating tennis padel facilities, it's is I mean they are doing good stuff. And the US is actually positioning in the world in this industry of padel as one of the leading example on how to do things right, because they're kind of reinventing the sports in terms of bringing not only luxury, but definitely treating the sport in a very comfort commodity, and treating the customer way too good. They are making out of this sport something exclusive and nice. Let me tell you, like right now, the active users in the US, number of users is 150,000. It's not that much, but the metrics is crazy. Like the stats are like that. Like every year there are more users, many more paddle facilities.
Paddle users and paddle players and paddle facilities.
Exactly, like crazy. Miami, it's insane the way. Like almost every month there is another paddle facility open, and that was fun. That was very funny because like 1 year ago there were still many states in the US that they have one single court. And right now I'm telling you, there's not one single state in the US that doesn't count with at least 2 or 3 or 4 or multiple tennis facilities. But I was gonna say 1 or 2 paddle courts. But right now there are like every state different clubs. And those that are consolidating a brand and they're doing good stuff with their brand as a paddle facility, they're counting with investors or gaining fund investors to kind of expand their brand all over the United States. You get to see, for example, there's this paddle club called Reserve, which became very famous, especially because they have been reinventing the sport. They were actually the pioneers on how create out of a sport such a luxurious type of lifestyle. So these guys have brought the number one and number two best player in the world to train here in Miami, and having them as a paddle or brand ambassadors for their own facility, having them playing programs, having them host events, and to kind of gain attention for investors or potential people that are in the sport industry or not, to keep an eye on what's happening with this sport. And that's actually, I find it very interesting, especially for those that are like impulsing, because actually it's actually the best way, bringing the best people to make the show and bring attraction into the sport, right? But yeah, everything right now. I think, and I don't think I'm mistaken that that the U.S. is consolidating as a country, the capital of the world for paddle, and it will be 100% the next following years. because they're doing good stuff and they're treating the sport with respect and knowing exactly what they are doing.
So, in your opinion, then, what does the future of paddle look like?
Well, the future of paddle definitely looks bright in this country. They're actually dealing with making this sport an Olympic sport for the next Olympic, if not for the next one. And I think that paddle is following or keeping a very close eye to pickleball. Because pickleball has been a sport that has exploded. It was born and raised, I think, in the US and exploded in the last year. Right now, I was telling you that paddle has 150,000 active users in the US, and guess how many has pickleball? 30 million. That's almost the same population as we have in Spain. And having 100 million in Asia. So it's definitely a sport. It's already consolidated 100%, and it's growing a lot. And that's a very brand new and recent sport it came up like not long time ago. So I think that paddle main developers are keeping a very close eye to see how they are doing, to kind of either copying them or try to improve what they have done, right? But yeah, definitely for the US, I think that paddle will definitely establish in the next following years. I don't know how long it will take, but numbers are talking that the numbers can go high. And the US has been always a country that has been very related with the tennis rackets, with tennis racket sports. So Americans or people that live in this country, they have their skill to play with a ball and a racket. So I think all these new sports that have a racket and involve uh, Americans are willing to try it out, and that's definitely fun. And the best part is that it's very fun to play with people and to show socialize. It's a fun sport. It's not that technical, like such as tennis, such as golf. It's actually a sport that everybody can play and enjoy, just like people could. Just like people pickleball. That's why pickleball has exploded, because you get to see like a kid of 6 years old playing and an adult of 85 years old playing. So that's why it also became very, very popular.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Txema. Well, Txema, thank you so much for joining us on the show and telling us your story. We have a closing question we like to ask our guests here in Key Biscayne Stories. What is your favorite part of Key Biscayne?
Well, that's a good question.
Even though I know you've already sprinkled a lot of it throughout the show, but
Let me think about it, because I truly love it. And let me tell you, there are some clients that have amazing and beautiful houses where I find it the best places to be on the island, to have a good lunch or to have something to drink with them. Sunsets, I feel that they're amazing, especially at the Clit. I love it. When my girlfriend was here this past summer, we usually go there a lot. I honestly find that the Ritz Carlton is a very beautiful place to be. The surroundings are beautiful, the palm trees, to do sports. When the hotel was open before the renovation, I used to go a lot to the beach. I love the beach over there. But oh well, let me tell you, I already have the place, which is Crandon Park Golf. I play golf as well, and I find it such a unique place in the world to be surrounded by so much nature, the alligators, which for me is a crazy thing to have around, the lots of type of animals you get to see there, and yeah, man, being there with 2 3 friends, just by yourself, and yes, without hearing anything. I find and being able to, if you're playing during the afternoon session, to see the sunset coming from the skyline of Brico, I find these moments completely magic. I would say that, yeah, definitely, like a place to be, right? And have my own preferences for restaurants and all that. But
Txema, it was great to have you and get to know you, and thank you for your contribution to the community. And well, we'll look forward for. I know that You're obviously doing trainings now, but the Ritz is going to open soon, so we're excited about that. But thank you for joining us on the show and sharing us your story.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Alejandro. I love my day here.